Yes, we are live now. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Hi, Bala. Hi, Dhanlakshmi. Hi, Mr. Muthu. Welcome to another series of Parivartan celebration series, is what we call this when we have caregivers over. So, today we have two amazing caregivers with us. One is Mr. Bala, and the other is Mr. Muthu. Both of them take care of their mothers or help in taking care of their mothers who are affected by Parkinson's. And I have known each of them personally for more than a couple of years now. Very involved caregivers. They know everything about the medication, about the treatment, about the disorder, very hands on. They reach out whenever they need help. They both have very successful careers. They juggle between caregiving, job, family, and they are both going to talk to one another today. Instead of we asking them questions, they are going to share their story by asking each other questions today. So, welcome to both of you. And I'm so glad you both agreed to do this. Why don't you start off by introducing very briefly about each other, and then whatever questions you have for one another, start with that. So, Dhanlakshmi and I will be your silent audience today. All the best.
Thank you, Sudha. Really, since I have the alphabet B, so I think I'll start off first. Muthu, with your permission. Is that okay?
Sure. Definitely, sir.
Yeah, I think when I got this message and call from Dhanlakshmi, as usual, whenever she calls, I'm very happy. And
Definitely, sir. You can start.
Thanks, Muthu. And Sudha, before we get into the program of question and answers, I want to thank you for this great initiative you've started for Parivartan and the sort of involvement and dedication you have shown. And you're so passionate about this. I think not, on behalf of all the kids of the Parkinson's Parivartan family and also the patients or people who are going through this thing, we really want to give you a big thanks for that, Sudha. And keep up the good work. And Dhanalakshmi, really, your enthusiasm really rubs on me whenever you call, whenever you ask for, especially during COVID times, you called up asking about my mother's well-being and also about the entire family well-being. Really very nice of you. Wishing you okay. So I'll just have a quick intro. So my name is Bala, and my mother was diagnosed with Parkinson's around 6 years back. And so the 6 years has been quite a journey for all of us. So when this message came about celebrating the caregivers, at one angle I was humble, but the other angle in me or part of me was also that, have I done enough? I couldn't do much more. So that's also a part of me which was there. And I'm really happy and glad for Parivartan, Sudha, Dhanlakshmi to give this opportunity to address this forum and also speak with Muthu about these experiences. So over to you, Muthu.
Thanks, Bala, for the nice intro. And from my end, I want to thank Sudha and the team for the excellent support. My mother was diagnosed with Parkinson 5 years back. So initially, we doesn't know about this disease. So we were very, we felt it is a different issue. And even though we checked with doctor, we are not able to diagnose it early. But we found this 4 years back, and we were surprised to learn about this. And from time to time, we had discussion with the Sudha and team to understand more about this, and they have been very helpful in this regard. And nice, it is a nice forum for us, I think, to discuss more. One thing, Bala, what I want to ask you is how you manage with the work and as well as looking after your mother? How do you
Okay.
manage?
So, see, over the period of time, I think in the last 6 years itself has been a journey. We have gone through ups and downs, and we have now finally come to a certain routine now. So routine in terms of medications, routine in terms of physios, routine in terms of food, the type of food my mother will take, um, um, and also the routine in which the sort of interactions we will have with her and what sort of interactions we will have with her. So it is like it has taken us a bit of a time to arrive at these routines. So if in the morning, even for a simple thing that what time she wakes up and has what, now it is all timed. So what I do is that I start adjusting my work schedules as per that. So along with me, my dad is also there, and we have a maid or a cook who's helping us. So we what has happened is that the entire focus is on my mother, and everything revolves around her uh, schedules. So even if we have to go out, we know when she feels weak, when she is lying down, who has to be there at home. So we alternate, and so everything. So it's like she's the center of attention for us, and everything revolves. The schedules, everything operates. So that's how we manage the things here. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, sure. Most probably, as you said, because we also follow the similar pattern, but another challenge happens when the nurses change within a duration. That is one problem we face because they stay there for around 5 or 6 months, and a new person comes in, and it becomes a challenge for us as well as for the new person to teach them what is the schedule in the house and what is the timeline we have to keep and how to take care of my mother. That is one challenge I have been facing regularly, actually. So it's difficult to for a person to stay for a long time. And have you have any challenges like that?
Yes. 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 Because whenever there is any change, whether it is in terms of medication, whether it is in terms of doctors, whether it is in terms of maids, that change management process itself has to be done very carefully and sensitively. Because same experience I assume that you have with your mother also. For 60-70 years they have, or sorry, 30-40 years they have been in charge of the household, and to see that now they are not in control of the house, and the cooking, even basic things like going to a toilet, being helped, is really quite what to say, stressful for them. And so that element we have to manage every other aspect which pertains to this change management. And there are some maids who are quite empathetic to this, and there are some people who are not. So when even the selection of those maids have to be done very cautiously and brought in well. Yeah.
About this disease, that is awareness, because we are also new to this, right? And nurses are made, some people who are not educated, they don't understand also. That is another challenge. You should, as you said, they have the right attitude and empathy to look over. Because sometimes in the initial stages when mother was able to eat, she is, that they have a very slow rate to have food. But this people know who come in the initial stages, they doesn't know that they want to give it very fastly, and sometimes that is a challenge. Even though we tell them to do that, if we are not there, they are not doing it. That is another challenge. So we have to always keep a track of what they are doing. For some people, it is required around the clock, at least, because I have two younger sisters currently looking after my mother there. They are also working, and so as you told, the fixed schedule, at least they want to have a look on what is happening. That is required, because even if they give them instructions, they are not following it. So that is another challenge we are facing. So maybe through experience, we are better now, and also we look for guidance from Sudha and Pete, and whatever, anytime we can contact them. That is a good thing. So it is better now.
So, how did you come to know about Parivartan and how you got introduced to Parivartan? Because in my story, one of my friends had come back from another country, and when we detected it, my friend actually sent me a news article which had Sudha's number, and I contacted Sudha and I got included in the group, and then the interactions began. So how did you get to know about Parivartan? And
I heard about them through a news article and through browsing through the web, and directly I contacted them. It was not through a friend, and because I was looking for this kind of support group, which was very less that time. Now many groups are there, and I was happy that time. There were very less, and luckily I got this contact number, and for the past 5 years, I think we are traveling along with them. So this is through browsing through the articles.
Okay, that's nice. So, before lockdown, there used to be a lot of activities at Parivartan. Yoga and dance and everything used to be there. So, now the online, it is moved to an online mode. So how do you use these facilities, and does your mom join these facilities? How's it?
Sorry, Bala, I think couldn't hear the question, what you asked.
No, I just said that now we have moved to an online mode in Parivartan. So does your Muthu, can you hear me?
Am I audible? Sorry.
Yeah, now you're audible.
Okay.
So briefly, can you say that
I missed your question, sorry.
Yeah, no problem. So since we have moved to an online mode, does your mom attend these programs organized by Parivartan online?
I think there is some issue from Mr. Muthu's side constantly with the net. Mr. Muthu, are you able to hear us? Because
No.
Bala has been repeating the same question for almost like 3 or 4 times now.
Sorry. Because I am connected to the landline only. So.
Yeah, so as you're fixing that, let me ask Bala a question. Bala, can you quickly describe how is your mother right now? Because we would like to know in what state she is right now.
Okay. So so there are different types of Parkinson's. And my mother has a sort of a Parkinson, which has got a lot of tremors in the hands and legs, and also she has a bit of hallucinations. So there is one Syndopa is given, but there are certain medications that are also given. And there is sleep disorders and things like that. So to take care of hallucinations and sleep disorders, also she's given. So it's quite fluctuating. Some days are very good for her, and she gets up in the morning, she does her physio, and she has a walk inside the house, and she has a food. But during the day she goes very weak, and she goes and sleeps in the bedroom and only comes for lunch. She has I won't say she eats a lot, but adequately she eats, and then she rests again um, in the afternoon, and then in the evening she starts feeling weak again. So in the evening time, right from 6 o'clock to 8:30, like that, there's she goes for urinating quite frequently, and she needs help at that point of time. So she has a lot of tremors, and her head starts spinning, and she starts feeling weak. So this is the so we find that two slots. One is the morning slot post breakfast, and the evening slot is where there is a lot of effect of the Parkinson's on her.
Understood. Mr. Muthu, can you describe where your mother is right now? You're on mute.
Could you hear me now?
Yes, go on.
What is it, Sudha? Could you repeat the question?
I was saying, can you tell us quickly about how your mother is right now?
Mostly now, I think she's better, and she needs the support of a nurse. And now we are giving her. She was hospitalized 3 months back. From that, that is the condition now. So um, we try to give her through the schedule. We are following a schedule from the morning 9 o'clock. We have some vegetable soup, and then in the 2 to 3 hours we give them some milk. So we try to carry her in a wheelchair and move to the front of the house. That is how we are now currently managing it. And morning, she is a little bit okay. She can try to. We try to talk with her and give her some activity, maybe try to engage her. Then the physio activity is there. Physio comes in because we have a correct schedule. Because after lunch, she is very much very tired and very difficult for her to move also. So morning itself, we will try to give all the activities, and after lunch, she goes to sleep for some time. And in the evening, again, we bring her back to the main front of the house and to watch her some television, most probably devotional songs, so that what she likes. So, and after 7 or 8 o'clock, we try to sleep. But there is a challenge now, since she is not immobile now. So it's a big challenge now. But at least she understood what is the condition now and try to support us.
Okay, so I think I'm going to ask some more questions because we are a little short of time, and there are a few things that I want both of you to share. So Muthu, from what you're saying, I understand that your mother has difficulty in walking, so she's not walking much. And Bala, your mother is walking a bit around the house.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you have any specific questions for each other, please ask. Otherwise, I'll just keep talking. So which is not the point of today. So continue asking each other questions. And Mr. Muthu, please don't mute, unmute, mute, unmute. Just stay like this.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Sure, sure.
Okay, go
Not able to move the screen also. Yeah.
on. Okay.
So, Bala, one other challenge what I have now, maybe since your mother is moving around, bed sores. My mother now, she's more often she's bedridden, right? Do you face any challenges there? Because we have ordered a special bed, water bed we have. Apart from that, you air bed and some what to say is things so that she can get more often bed sores. Do you follow any other? Do you have any other suggestions to follow?
See, at this point of time, my mother has not had bed sores.
Okay, okay,
She goes, she does move around the house,
okay, okay,
and also in terms of her daily activities, she's able to do it, or has to be helped in doing it. So
okay,
at this point, we have not faced that issue yet.
okay, okay. That is one issue we are facing currently for the past 1 month. That is a challenge.
Hmm.
Getting your legs are so it is a bit of a challenge. So I thought I will ask you.
Sure. So, Muthu, for me, to be a caregiver, and it's not easy um task or a role. Sometimes you succeed, sometimes or many times you fail, right? So, and there are frustrating moments, especially to see one's loved one in a helpless condition. So, how do you manage to, take care of yourself in this journey?
Maybe one good thing in the COVID condition is we're working from home for people like us, no?
Mm,
So it is better we can have a round the clock thing what is happening in the house. But
mm,
another big challenge is nobody should get infected, and because home will because the physio comes on a regular basis
mm,
and the maids come from other places, right? So they come and attend. We are that is one challenge, and as you're working in a COVID situation, your office has some pressures, right? You have some deadlines to meet also, even though they give you some relaxation. But I have learned something. If it is in office hours, I concentrate on that. If there is any, because anytime I can get a call. So I don't panic. That is one thing I have learned. Because Sudha knows about it. 2, 3 months back, she was hospitalized. Actually, that time I was in a different location, and
mm.
my sisters has to go to the hospital. So when they call me, I told them to be, don't panic, be relaxed. I will be there on the time. So when they got admitted, I was there actually. So the thing is, the initially I was very frustrated or stressed out, and even if I get a call, I would be afraid. But now at least that through experience it has come up. Mm,
Yep.
don't panic. Just go with the situation. What to do? You can't do anything. So since it was both myself and my sister is working, we planned our leave like that. So first 3 days she was there, and next 3 days week I was there in the hospital, and we managed it. So like that, plan and sit with the family, discuss with them, and understand what their problems are. Because my sisters, their family, their children are there. We have to plan accordingly, and so that it doesn't affect anyone's schedule, right? So sit and plan and go on.
Okay. For me, this last 1.5 years, my two stress busters were, when the cook didn't come, I had to get into the kitchen. So cooking was my, it was like I was in a chemistry lab. So, get total experiment. So that's one. And then getting on Zoom calls to see real human beings, was the ultimate stress buster. So, so that was good. So, yeah.
Okay, learn. Each one is learning different skills, I think.
Yeah.
Cooking.
Yeah. Cool. So tell me, one of the issues that I face or I faced is that when my mother goes, there's ups and downs, especially when the downs happen. There's a lot of people who are concerned, right? So a lot of people are concerned, family, friends, relatives, and there is like multiple ideas that come up. Do Ayurveda, do Unani, do homeopathy, do this, do deep brain simulation. It's like in US they found this, go to this doctor, a doctor is better. So as a primary caregiver, I faced a lot of this pressure to do something. You can't keep watching this. Do something. You're being pushed. Always do something. Do something. So, how do you deal with these challenges?
Exactly, exactly. I think this is common to everyone. I think all will give a number of suggestions. I think initially I was very concerned whether we are doing in the right path, but through experience we understand. My understanding is we know better than that, right? So we know the situation because we deal with day in and day out. So I don't tell them to what to say, avoid the suggestions, take all what they say, but do whatever is for us. That is what I do. Because we can't stop them to by from telling what is better. Why don't you go to Kerala and there is a treatment there? Somebody has told me this, one of the friends, and still he started following also. Whether you are not gone there, why? What happened? Like that. So I tell him initially. I tell him what is the situation now. You understand, and the thing is, regularly till now it is happening. Last week also, one of my other friend was suggesting some other thing. So I think we are the better person to decide, and based on experience, I think whatever you're doing, it is best.
Great.
So sometimes some new ideas or new suggestions helps us. Maybe we can implement, but most of the time it is better to follow instinct and get the support of this groups also like Sudha's teams if there is any concern.
Yeah. Nice. So listen to everyone, take what is relevant to you and act on it.
Right, right.
Okay. And also, I wanted to ask you, how was your journey with the doctors and the medications? Um, you don't have to name anyone, but what was your journey like?
The thing is, I've changed 2 to 3 doctors now. One of the reason is traveling around because my mother, as I told you now, she's not able to move also around, and it is good. Okay, fine. Sometimes they are understanding, and I think overall doctors, I think they understand what the disease is. The challenges what I had is with the nurses and mates. That is a bigger challenge for me. Uh, apart from that, I am fine with what I think facilities we have in Chennai. It is better. I think we are lucky to have different hospitals we can go around. Another one challenge currently I am facing is home visit for doctors during the COVID situation. No, I didn't take that, but video calls helps us. So we have been doing video calls with doctors. That is one good thing now, and overall it is fine. I am happy with what the services are given.
Because in my there are a lot of good doctors, yes, but what my assumption is, a lot of PD patients are senior citizens, and there is a lot of wait time with all this specialists who are there. The sort of wait times are 1 or 2 hours wait times, and that's a real problem. And the real time that they spend because they are experts, they've seen thousands of PD patients, and the real time of our consultation is roughly around 5 to 7 8 minutes. So that's the frustrating part I found. And second is that even during COVID times, some of these doctors were really busy. There's nothing to blame them, but they were really busy with they were involved with so much of cases coming across, and I found that accessibility, now it has become better, but at a certain point of time when it was peak period, it was very difficult to get them.
Yeah, I agree with you. The waiting time, no, it is sometimes because I have shifted one doctor specifically for that reason. We sat around 3 to 4 hours I understand because people there come with the same condition, right? And it is very difficult to manage. Initially, my mother was very, very restless, sitting for 3 or 4 hours, which is very difficult. I understand. I agree with you. And maybe they would have, because they get the appointment 1 month before, and even the
Yeah.
patients, maybe to the population, I think we have around 30 to 40 patients on a single day. And it
Yeah.
is very difficult. I understand that. That is one big problem. I personally told the doctors, we are finding it difficult, but what to do? That is one challenge. And the COVID was tough initially, but maybe as due to the video call and something more, we were trying to manage it, getting an appointment and having a word with the doctors.
Sure. And this 1.5 years has been tough on all of us, right?
Right.
It's been difficult to manage work front, at the personal front, and also a sort of news that is coming, the sort of explosion of news that someone is not well or something has happened to them, unfortunate, and there's so much of upheaval that is going on. So how did you manage to uh, you know uh, be with your mom, take care of, because it might be their relatives calling them up or speaking to them, and that stress and anxiety, how did you manage that during this period?
I think that is a good point because during the COVID situation, no, uh, most of our dear friends' parents, they were sick, somebody was not there. We are getting all kind of calls. The first thing what I did is slowly I didn't give the phone call to my father who was attending because my mother was not able to reply. And one other thing I think is initially he was a good reader. He loves to read Tamil devotional books, and so I inculcated that habit in it. So at least he can concentrate on books instead of looking into TV channels or other activity, right? So sometime one day he was surprised to see that COVID situation, and he was not well aware of it. So we told him it was nothing but a small virus because they would have heard in his lifetime, no, when he was a young person. And so we try to deviate them into other activities so that they don't get many, what to say, latest news and all, no, get because that is more stressful for them. And initially they were surprised also when they were seeing him wearing mask and coming and meeting them. And what is the necessity for them? Because and when we take them out also, no, then we have to educate them. But at least they don't know the severity of the situation. So like that we managed reading the books or different devotional activities, no, so that they were not aware of what is happening actually. And one of the good thing we did is not make them to attend the phone calls, so they don't get all the negative news or aware of what is happening. That is one way we managed.
No news is
Especially
best
when,
news,
yeah, right.
or
Especially when,
ignorance is bliss.
yeah, that is the key thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool, that's nice.
We are a bit short of time, so I want to come in here and ask certain specific things. Maybe very briefly, both of you, what, according to you, is the biggest challenge as a caregiver who is also having a very busy professional life? Why I'm asking this is, in a lot of cases, maybe people watching this may not be aware, Parkinson's affects somebody at a much older age. And typically, it is, for some unknown reason, men get affected more than women. So the spouse automatically becomes the caregiver. In that case, a wife who is herself like 60 or 70 years old. But in your case, it is a little different. Both of you have your fathers who are still fairly healthier than your mothers. So how are you able to manage like doctor appointments, decision making, when the schedule changes in house? How are you able to juggle? What is the biggest challenge? Maybe we'll start with Bala and then go to Muthu.
What I think first part of the question I'll answer, Sudha, is that how can I give more time to her? And more time means more quality of time to her. I think that's the first part. Second is, in some way I feel that this work from home has helped. The sort of it's given, and with everything going online has also helped. So we have naturally adapted to the situation. Thank God we are technically technology wise a little bit more savvy, and we have adapted this situation to our advantage. So that's the thing. Yet I feel that physical meeting of the doctor has a different effect altogether, although on video conference and things like that. So in terms of juggling work and thing, as far as I'm concerned, the first priority is mom. So if there is something, so we work around the meetings, our schedules on that basis.
Excellent. You, over to you, Muthu.
Yeah, one of my greatest support is my sisters, and I have the great support system in them, and I plan accordingly in consultation with them based on their schedule and look around. As I told you, when we were in the hospital, part of my time I was there, and other half they were looking around. So we managed their vacation and sorry, not vacation or leave based on the situation. And my office was also supportive because they understood what my current. As Bala said, another key thing is try to be around with my parents so that during this crucial moment, right? That is what they require more. So myself or my sisters, at least they will be around. So they understand that some people is someone is there to.
No problem. Absolutely. I think it's very crucial that you have a support system, because to take care of anybody who is sick, you can't do it alone. So Bala, in your case, do you feel you've had enough support? Because I think you have been also juggling quite a bit.
Yeah, it's a gradual process. When we started off, wisdom has come quite late. So what wisdom I have now, if I had implemented it 4 years back, it would have been a different game altogether. But also, I'm dealing with mindsets of a generation. So for example, cooking, right? So my mother will not allow anyone to cook. She used to cook herself. So to make a cook enter the house was a challenge in itself. And then to have her take to the toilet someone also is a process in itself. So every time it's been sort of learning. So that's my my only point is, okay, I've grown wiser over with doing a lot of mistakes. So yeah, that's my.
Yeah, it's never easy, and nobody expects ever to be a caregiver. In fact, I was reading somewhere that you become a caregiver very suddenly from. No, it's never a gradual process, like studies one. It's like an overnight process. Suddenly you have very minimal responsibility to complete responsibility, and it can be quite unnerving to wrap your head around it. Yeah, it is quite a bit of a challenge. So if there is top, say, 3 things that each of you have to identify in telling other caregivers what they should keep in mind to go through this process, because the way Parkinson's is, it's a constant degenerative disorder. So there are new challenges coming every month, every year. So things are never, there is we'll have a schedule, we'll have a routine, but everything changes. Then there's a new status quo, you know, the paradigm keeps shifting every so often. And you have to adapt accordingly. What would you say are some crucial things that you have learned have helped you, which if you can share it to others can help them?
Great question, Sudha. See, from my experience, if you are the primary caregiver, you need to have a set of resources around you, which will help you make clear decisions at various. It can be the smallest thing to the biggest decision. So whether it is Sudha from Parivartan, or it is a close family member, or even understanding your mother or your whoever is suffering from PD, their own what is their routine that is happening, any changes in routine. So the caregiver has to be completely cued on, has to take on the personally the decision making processes. Second, there are different types of Parkinson, and it is in different stages. So identify those stages. And I feel that proper diet, proper exercise is extremely important. Physio and mindset of the patient. See, they're already upset from their what they were to what they are. So you have to be really give them positive vibes and keep making them do things which will make them feel that they are achieving. And third for me is tough love. Okay, tough love for me is, sometimes I get angry with my mom. I'm telling you, sometimes I feel very bad that I have really been firm with her, and yet I love her. Okay, so they have to do certain things. They have to, if physio has to be done, has to be done. If there is even one, the nutritious food or not, something has not been taken, it has to be told. If the doctor appointment has to happen, you have to go. There is no two ways about it.
Yeah.
So these are my three thoughts.
Yeah. So let me see if I got them right. You're saying keep all the resources handy, right? Your family, your doctor, your support group, all the resources, keep them handy, and be very aware and be educated about the different stages in Parkinson's, so you know what is coming up. So as a primary caregiver, decision making is very important. So if you are aware of more things, you can take better decisions, and you have to be firm with them at some point, like not just the person who is affected with PD, but even with family members, I think, to say
Yes.
that this is what you have to follow, so please follow this. Just because it's going to hurt someone's feelings, you can't say, okay, don't do physio today, okay, take rest today. So you can be lenient to some extent, but there are certain things they have to follow. So you're saying, as hard as it is, but you want to implement, you do implement them.
Yeah.
So that's the tough love part. So do you want to share with us like some tips that you have learned along the way that you think you can tell others who will help get helped because of that benefit?
Yeah, follow the instructions by the doctor sometimes, and whatever they say, note it down if you want, and because the people change, nurses change from time to time. So we have to follow a strict schedule and see that it has been followed. That is another challenge because you give the list to them, and whether they are following it, you have to keep a track. Day to day, morning we have some meditations, in the afternoon, see whether they are following it. And physio is very, very important. And sometimes if you are on leave, follow with them, and whether you will be available for the next day. And I think we have to keep a track on a day-to-day basis. And another thing is spend time with the patient, and because as they have been active throughout their life, and they would have been stressed out, right? So try to talk with them, and so they will feel better, at least whenever it is available. we are available, sit with them maybe and try to talk with them so that they will feel better. That is another good thing I think the caregivers can follow.
Yeah, because I think sometimes in all the caregiving, in all the things that we provide for them, we forget to spend time with them. So I think it's excellent that both of you at different points today have mentioned how you take time to spend time with them. It is really amazing. And you're saying follow the doctor's instructions, which I really like because not many do that. They're like, okay, doctor is saying this, let's do something else. And you have to constantly check on the caregivers, which is also, as you said, very important because the girls keep changing. You don't know what they're doing. You don't know if the routine is being followed. So constantly check on them. Just don't think that, oh, they're there doing the work, it's fine, it'll be taken care of, but constant monitoring is necessary. This is great. But I also want to know, for you as a caregiver, I'll start the question with Muthu, then we can go to Bala. Have you in these years of active caregiving for your mother, especially now when you've moved to a challenging phase where she doesn't walk around the house, do you take any special time for yourself? Do you do some activity only for you that is not related to your mother, that's not related to your family? Do you have your own time?
Currently, I started doing meditation. So, because it is required, right? So, now we are more stressful now. I think it's helping us a lot. So, I never do walking, and now I started doing that so that helps overall health also, right? Since how they suffer, at least you should be healthy to look after them, right? So,
True. So you're walking and you're meditating.
yeah, meditation. I
That is
started.
great. You've started both. Nice. Bala, what about you?
So thanks to COVID, now I've started watching Netflix and Amazon Prime.
That's your me time.
Yeah, yeah. From a physical thing, I play my badminton every morning. So when it's 2 months of lockdown, I couldn't play. So that's my big release.
Yeah. So it's very important that you do something for
Yes,
yourself
yes,
at
absolutely.
some point during the day. Otherwise, it
Yes,
can get very overwhelming. And
yeah,
especially if it is
absolutely.
physical, it's better.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I think every caregiver needs to, remember that.
Yes. No, it's a very important question, Sudha, because how you are taking care of yourself. That's really important. Otherwise, you will get frustrated. You'll get worn out.
Tell me something. This is a little bit of a tricky question. And if you don't want to answer it, it's fine. At any point, did you ever feel a sense of bitterness or anger? Because as a caregiver, it can restrict your life very much. Like your life choices, where you want to live, if you want to travel, if you want to work in certain place, a lot of things can get curtailed. Did you ever feel, why am I in this situation? I just want to get, or anything like that? Did you ever feel trapped, is what I'm asking?
Yeah, I've had that. I think I've had that feeling that my movements are getting restricted, and my mobility is getting restricted. For example, my friends, if we have a get together, I have to come back by 10 o'clock. Otherwise, my mother will get worried, and where is this guy? And I don't want her to get worried, so I have to come back by 10. So it's like, so yeah, I've felt those things, and I've also told her this is like I'm my mom is 79 years of age and I'm 46. It's like as if I'm in back in my teenage year. It's like that now. I'm living in a hostel or something like that.
True. Yeah. Muthu, what about you?
Yeah, definitely. Sometimes we get frustrated, that is sure. But end of the day, right? So we understand because nobody expected this to happen. I never expected this. 5, 6 years down before, no, we never expected my mother would become like this. So we have what to say. We don't plan to go out if there are any functions. Also, no, sometimes we have to avoid, and but it's okay. We don't feel bad for that. Only we feel frustrated because she is suffering like that. That is one thing. Whether it is karma, we don't know what is happening. Sometimes we go so uh, so much thinking right into that. But currently, we feel it is part of life. It is what has been done. We have to carry on. As I told you, I have two sisters, and they are also, I think, going to the native place somewhere to travel. No? Everybody is restricted now. We plan accordingly, and sometimes okay. Now the current situation is we understand and go along our life. What is stored in us, stored with it.
Yeah, true. Because I think it would definitely be unusual if, as a caregiver, one doesn't feel trapped. But the feeling is also very fleeting in some ways, but the next time your parent is sick or they need you, just all that feeling of not going anywhere, not being able to do, just goes away, and you're immediately jumping into what is the next thing to do, how can you help them. So to say that that feeling is never there is not true, but to say that that's always there is also not true. It comes and goes at moments, and that's just the part of life, I think. But I have also felt that as challenging and as lonely caregiving can be, it can also be sometimes a great opportunity for certain things in life. Um, have you felt, both of you individually, that had I not been in this situation, I would never have known this, and this? Oh, I'm glad despite this situation, I'm able to do this. Was there ever a feeling like this that you have ever faced? Muthu, do you want
Oh,
to take
yes.
the question?
Oh, okay. Muthu.
The thing is, challenges facing looking after my mother. Maybe I can replicate that in my workspace also. It is very easy now. I think this challenge is more than that. So, because initially we were only worried about our official work and other things, right? Now this is more challenging than that, and in the other half, we are feeling confident we can manage because we are our situation is better than this. So that is one thing I have learned for the past 1 or 2 years. Having a mother with Parkinson, and that too in the advanced stage, we're able to manage that. We can manage anything in our life.
That is true. That is true. Bala, what about you?
I don't know how to say this, but for me, caregiving has brought in tremendous sense of ownership. So it is like I see my mother in a totally different light now, and the sort of ownership I'm like, like I've locked on to her. I have locked on physically, emotionally, her wavelength. So even one thing goes off the radar, it's like I'm zoomed on to her. So her schedule, everything, I'm like one camera who's watching her. So one change in 1 meter, then my antennas are up. So it's like it's a new feeling for me. I don't know what that's. So I don't know if I have to name it as ownership or what. It's like I'm just. It's like I don't know what to say there. So that's my shift.
What do you think, Bala, for you has come out of caregiving?
It's love in action.
True, true. It's good. It is a lot of action and a lot of love. It is. It is. It is. When both of you say whatever you're saying, I can completely resonate with it. About being completely in tune with their treatment. And even if they look slightly different from one day to the other, you can make out the difference. I'm sure it is true for both of you. And I also completely understand when you're saying, when you're dealing something as big as Parkinson's, work stress becomes like so secondary. You're like, oh, I can deal with this. This is no big deal. So true, so true. Because somebody once was asking me, oh, this job is very stressful. Will you be able to do it? I'm like, What is not stressful? Have you taken care of a parent? Please tell me what can be more stressful than that. I'll be fine. I'm sure I'll be fine. So I exactly know what both of you are saying. This has been wonderful because very rarely we hear a perspective of a male caregiver who is young. Usually it's a woman and who is older taking care of a spouse. That's just the nature of the disorder is such, you know. Um, Tell me, finally, before we go, did either of you have to make any big, I can't call it sacrifice, any big compensation or letting go of a big job opportunity or to move to a different place? Was it tough decision? Did you both have to face something like that? Who wants to go first?
I'll go.
Okay.
Muthu, you're okay? If
Yeah. No problem. You can go.
there were, there were opportunities for taking up higher responsibilities, and looking at the sensitive balance that is operating, especially with COVID scenarios coming in, that took a sort of a second priority, and I had to let go of some opportunities. And even if in future opportunities come, only if I am satisfied that everything is taken care of, that I can touch my heart and yes, it's done, then only can move forward. That's very clear with me.
Okay. That's great. So it's a very conscious decision, and you seem very aware of what you're doing, and you seem at peace with what you're doing, which is very good. Okay. Muthu, what about you?
In my case, I have delayed my plans of moving somewhere around, and COVID situation also helped out, right? So it is not a good time for to move around, and it's okay. I'm able to manage it now currently, so that I can be more with them, more with my parents now. So we have delayed the plan. That's all. What I have done.
Okay, sounds good. We have exceeded our time limit, which is fine because it was really fun chatting with the both of you. Just lastly, before we go, I want both of you to give me 2 words that will describe your caregiving journey.
Once in a lifetime, I think, journey, memorable journey. What we can say.
What, Muthu? You're saying many things. I said 2 words and I didn't understand what you were saying.
No, once in a lifetime journey, I think.
Once in a lifetime journey. Yes.
Yeah.
That's one sentence you have given. Yeah. Yeah.
It's an opportunity, and also it's demanding.
Yeah. It's challenging and it's also a great opportunity. That's true. That's true. That's true. Dhanalakshmi, do you want to ask or say anything? No? Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. This was wonderful chatting with both of you. And I hope a lot of people get to hear your story and learn from it.
Thank you, Sudha. Thanks, Muthu.
Thank you.
And thanks,
Thanks.
Dhanalakshmi.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Bye.